Alright, let's see if this works. So I finished doing the moves for the Second Army. I'm just about to do 2 attacks for them as well, and I looked them up and it was kind of nice to see that this is the 24th Corps for the Germans, and it's led by, what would it be called? Commandant, I guess, Wilhelm Ahrens. So that's William Ahrens' alter ego in my world. Harold Bosma's over in there for maybe I think he's the 30th Corps. I'd have to go and look it up. Hold on, I can check quickly, I think. On it somewhere listed. Just why not? I love doing this, having people in here. Yep, no, 31st Corps. But anyways, the 24th Corps is about to get into a lot of trouble here. So they've only got cavalry sitting over here. This is going to be more or less a gimme, and that's the number, what is that? Number 14 for the Germans. Hold on, I'm just going to go look them up quickly. But I'll tell you what else has been going on. So that's the Cavalry Brigade number 3. They've only got one strength point. My God, they're not even a division, so they're automatically going to retreat for sure for this gimme attack. So I'll tell you what I did to move some troops over. I did actually move 2 reserve divisions that were for the Second Army. I railed them over. One had to go a long route over to here, towards the 4th Army down here in Radom, and the other one popped on over here, forming Battle Group 40, came over across here from the single track. Both of those were actually originally assigned to go to the 9th Army, but because of this desperate, remember, but it's not true, all those numbers, the aerial reconnaissance is faulty, but the Russians think there's a big massing of troops that the Germans are going to launch towards and try to take Kielce. And you can see they are certainly surrounding that whole area. But so the Russians have bit on false information, basically, or faulty information, and are starting to stream troops over here. I did for von Salz as well. I think I did manage to. I don't know. It looks pretty good. I'm kind of happy about this as well. So we're going to start making a couple of attacks here. Nikolai Protopopov over here. And like I said, the first one's going to be more or less a gimme. Did move some troops over to here. Did go into this devastated area that Wilhelm Ahrens' 24th Corps retreated from, vacated, and went into this slightly better terrain, in the sense that they've only at least got broken terrain, but they still got there and it's still entrenched or whatever. They did retreat back, but it is a devastated area now, so it is going to cause some issues for the Russians going forward. But the main thing was, anyways, the 24th Corps and the rest of the 8th Army more or less know is to just try to go back towards Łódź in this area. If the Russians do go there, don't really try to engage them, just try to bring them back here a little bit and focus on other aspects. Anyways, so this is going to be a gimme. I'm just going to move it off to the side for now. And I did put a devastated marker in already, and then I'll just have some more troops here. I'll just go and grab a blank Russian battle group for now, just to pop it in. There's no point in doing the... To be honest, there's no point in doing the attack, because, like I said, the German cavalry has the option to retreat, since it's only infantry attacking. There's no cavalry attacking with that. So I'll just put the Russian troops there for now. So we're gonna get into this big sucker over here, though. That's a lot of strength points for sure. I think remember, I'm using my new D12 system, so it's going to be a lot different. I think the maximum I can get with the mine. Well, we'll take a look at the terrain things in a minute. So we've got 2 artillery brigades sitting here for the Russians. They're 2 strength points each. They're going to cost a supply point a piece, and it's an all or nothing affair for artillery. I can't just half whatever. It wouldn't matter anyways, of course. There's only 2 strength points for them. And then I've got a total of, well, let's go and hold on here. I'm going to go look them up. I've got a total of 53 infantry strength points. This is a monster amount of stuff. But like I've mentioned before, I'm starting to clue in with the new reality here. Is that with the entrenchment and the additional things for terrain cost, the train is still included. it gets really expensive. I really need to put in a lot of force into this area. Basically, and then of course now I took a look, and we've only got 6 strength points here for the Germans. That's just it's a regular infantry division. For a superior, for an elite unit for the Germans in my world, it would be 8. Their reserve troops are 4. It fluctuates for the Austro-Hungarians, and the Russians have different quality troops. So I think the elite troops for the Russians are 5 at most, for example. Anyways, so there's only 6 strength point infantry strength points here. I've got nearly 9.5 times the amount. Of course, I know we're not using the ratio-based combat results table for Der Weltkrieg or my system, since it's just an adaptation. I went from a D6 to a D12 and morphed a little bit, and it's probably still wonky, but that's the way it goes. I like at least at the high end. I'll take a look at the low end, but at the high end, boy oh boy, do I ever inflict a lot of hits. But my gosh, I'm going in with a total of 56 attacking strength points. It's going to cost me 15 supply points, for goodness sakes, for my second army over here to make this monster attack. I didn't go with these guys as well. Like I said, I knew it was a gimme, but I didn't want to go with this guy across here, because if I had, I would have given this infantry division, the 41st Infantry Division for the Germans, that forest bonus, the woods bonus, so screw that. So what are my defensive modifiers here? I've got a -3 in total, -2 for the entrenchment for the Germans here, and then an additional -1 just for the broken terrain. So that's not too bad, but I'm going on 56 points. That's pretty monstrous. So I think you could, yep, oh goody. So we'll go to the D9 and we'll see how many hits I can inflict. It's going to be monstrous. I need 6 or more hits. I think it's a gimme anyways based on my CRT to force the the Germans to retreat. That's what they're going to do. I wonder if is there something, hold on, I can't pause the bloody thing. Is there some way I could have retreat before an attack? I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'm stuck there. I don't think that that is an option in this world. I think it's only the cavalry that can do that. Combat resolution. Hold on here. I'm pretty darn sure. Retreat in order to reduce losses. The defender in combat may opt to retreat all ground units from the hex being attacked after the results of the attack have been determined, but before the results of the counterattack are determined. By retreating, yep. So yeah, we're going to retreat. Well, we're forced to retreat regardless. You're going to see. Okay, I thought maybe I had the option to get the hell out of there, but I don't. And that was just, my option to get the hell out of there was last turn with the movement. So here we go. So it's a 1. That's the absolute worst we could possibly do, obviously. And in my system, what does that mean? Because I still want to use the die roll modifiers, and like for Der Weltkrieg or whatever, I'm going to get to a certain, you know, threshold, plus or minus with the modifiers, and they don't matter anymore. For mine, they do matter. So hold on, let me go get my my handy dandy thing. So how it would work? Hopefully, I'm going to take a look here. So hopefully you can see this. So it's on a 56, so I rolled a 1. So now I have to go 3 columns to the left and still grab the 1, if that makes any sense. So it'd be, you know, 56, 1, 2, 3. So I go down to the 53 column, and then I know that it would be 11 hits, because the next one up would have been 12 if I'd rolled a, whatever, a 4 or 3 or whatever. Hopefully that makes sense. So that means the Russians inflict 11 hits in total. That would force the Germans back, which obviously they're going to be doing, but that happens after the attack over here. So let me write that down. So that was a 1, so it's going to be 11 hits. And so that's, I think we round up in total, so that's going to be, because of the forced retreat or whatever, that's 1/3 less damage. So what it was 11 hits, so we'll go to 12, so that's 4 hits less than they would have taken. So there's still 8 hits, they're going to get wiped out. I'm still okay with this. At first I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this whole idea of wiping out an entire whatever. Hold on, I gotta blow up my nose. And I can't hit pause with this camera. Yeah, I've never had allergies this early in the year, but anyways. So these guys will effectively be wiped out, and it's like, well, they still exist, but just no longer as combat effective. And I do need to wipe them out as a division, because in the campaign situation, I have to reform a division. It's going to cost me a ton of money. I think it's something like 6 months or 9 months until they appear again. I gotta go and look at the production chart later, but I think it's, you know, it's a long period of time. So I do have to do that. So they are going to get wiped out. But then we can now go with the counter-attacking thing. So this is going to be a total of 5 counter-attacking things, just due to the fact that because he's a core HQ over here, I can only use a maximum of 4 supply points in total for an attack. Is it 4 or 2? Hold on here. Yet again. I think it's 2, which would have given me 8. That's right. It's only 2. So that means, that's right, that's it straight. So I can only, should I use the full 6 then? Yeah, I think I could. Hold on here. No, what am I doing? It's a counterattack, you silly goose. Thinking of the attack here. So hold on here. I'm pretty sure. It says any attack may only have up to 2 supply points expended for it by Core HQ. Similarly, any counterattack may only have up to 4 supply points expended for it by Core HQ. So I can spend a 4 on this, but for the counterattack, 1 supply point only can supply 2 counterattacking strength points. So I'm going to use the 3. Might as well, because I can. I've got 4 here, so I'll have 1 left. So that's 6 in total. But I'm only going to get him doubled instead of tripled, just due to the fact that I have to retreat. But at least I didn't get it chopped in half because they're not unsupplied. So that's a 12, and let's see what happens with a 12 on a counterattack with no die roll modifier, because the broken train won't give it for the counterattack, and neither does the trench system. And it's a 7. So in a 7 on a 12 in my universe, hold on here, I'm going to go and grab it. Tell you what, counterattacks, if you supply counterattacks and have a lot of strength points, oh boy, does it hurt. So I said a 7 on a 12. Yes. So I do 2 hits. That's not too bad. So the Germans are going to inflict 2 hits on this monstrous amount of, I think it was a ridiculous amount of divisions. To be honest with you, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 12 Russian divisions with 2 artillery brigades. I mean, that's ridiculous. So these guys will, like I said, we'll move back here, and then we'll just vacate this space and see what happens. And then now I'm off to the 10th Army, way the hell up here. I'll zoom out for a bit and maybe get rid of the. I'll get rid of the thing, but hold on here. I'll zoom out a little. There we go. Oh, just a quickie. So this is going to be interesting to see how it develops. But anyways, who the hell are you? Oh, just a fort. Well, I shouldn't say just a fort, but anyways, so the 10th Army here did take some damage from the Germans here, but and then we got the 1st Army, which is going to be, what in the world do we do here after they've lost 2 entrenched positions here and they've squeezed in? Like I said, I got to get these guys out of there mega quick. And it does look certainly like the Germans are going to sever, cut off the 7th Army from the 1st, but we still got a little bit of issues that way. I mean, we can still go that way, but the 7th Army, I can't wait to get towards there with the big drive towards Memel. That is going to be awesome. A lot of fireworks there, I can tell you that much. Anyways, hope you're having fun. See you later.